Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Dan.
And this is the Board Game Rundown, and today we're going to do a review of Dabba Walla, Mumbai Food Express from Queen Games. This is a really unique game.
Yeah.
We are the theme is that we are basically all these food delivery drivers.
That's it.
On our bikes. We're grabbing all these lunch pails, we're stacking them up, we're taking as many as we can, and then and that's going to be the first round of the game. And then the second round of the game, we're going to flip this board over, and we're going to just sell off the layers of our food. Right?
Yeah.
The stacks of them. And you just go, you can have up to 10
Layers.
I haven't seen that, but I got to 7. That was pretty good.
You did.
Yep.
And then, everybody works down. So anybody that has goods to sell in that row can sell.
Can sell goods.
You're going to have dual purposed cards here. The top part is going to be what food pails you are stacking in your cart. And then the bottom part is going to be for scoring, which we'll explain a little later. So there's all these different locations, and there's cards associated with each of them. When you start, you're going to have a hand of 2 cards, and you will then place your driver down there. You're going to pick up the card from the spot, and then you're going to choose one of the cards from your hand to play. When you play that, you're going to grab that tile, and you're going to line it up in your cart or your wheelbarrow or whatever shape you decide you're playing, right? Mm-hmm. There are little
Half chai
symbols on those tiles. And if you can make a pair, right, make a full chai, you can then grab one of these extra guys, which can give you an extra thing. It might add to scoring. It might allow you to take a card, exchange a card, all different kinds of abilities. They're all pretty straightforward. You do what they say.
Good breakdown of the book.
They can modify scoring, things like that, plus or minus. Or they're worth 2 points at the end of the game.
Correct.
If you don't spend them.
Yep. 2 tips.
If I didn't want to go to an adjacent space on my next turn, because you can move forward or backwards, but you must move, I could drop one of these guys down. What was this called again?
Ticket.
A ticket. I could drop a ticket down on each card I pass, and then get to the location I want, and then take that card, and then again choose to play that card or keep it in my hand. We are going to go until the deck runs out. Everybody's going to go taking turns. Once the deck runs out, you're still going to have 2 cards in your hand. You're going to play those 2 cards to top off your cart there, and then we'd go to the scoring phase. Couple important things to remember while you're stacking food items on your cart. You can't have stuff hanging over empty spaces.
Correct.
There are these silver pails you can take. They're worth negative points, but they do fill in empty gaps, right? On the scoring side, where's these guys right here?
Negatory.
Boop, boop, boop. There we go. So that's basically now we're all set up, ready for scoring. Everybody's going to start, let's say the highest one was level 8. Everybody from the cards that are in their hand, all the cards that you played,
Pick them back up.
you pick them back up. You've got them out.
I did it done.
And now you are going to rotate the board, and then you will So now you're going to everybody's going to play a card from their hand, whether or not you have stacks on that level, right?
Correct.
And you're going to pop it down. And then everybody flips over the cards. You're going to modify the scores accordingly. So, my card here would move it up 2. Bob had a 2 for
2
red
and 1 yellow.
And so you're looking at what you have and how you want to score. And then you're going to score for each pail you have on that layer. You're going to score based on that. You're going to move your little piece around the scoring tiles, yada, yada, yada.
And then each layer, it's going to reset back to 0, and then you'll redo it
Yes.
again. Re-pick a different card, and then flip them over again.
And there are cards that will give you score modifiers or scoring modifiers for the round. Like we played one that had small packages.
Correct.
So
There's
the
6 of
more
those.
tiles you had in a layer, the higher potential for bonus points.
Yeah.
But
There's
there's
a lot
all
of
kinds of
different
those.
there's 6 different ones.
So we won't go into all of those. But that's basically it. It is important to note that as you punch out the game, you will be
Assembling these trays.
Assembling these trays, which I'll talk about when we talk about our feelings about the game. And then also these bits here, they go on as lids for the component trays. And the board is a lid essentially. And so that's really cool. And then like Bob was saying when we were scoring, is as you're pulling off the tiles, you can just put them away. So the game cleans itself up, right? So, I mean, that's basically how you play Dabba Walla.
Yeah, the only last thing is there's a global scoring thing for
Yeah,
everyone to pay
that's
attention
what he
to.
was sort of
That was
talking about.
the-
The six
And
different cards.
that's me not listening to Tim.
That's okay.
Dude, it's
It's
so
a
hard.
Sunday. Par for the course. But anyways, that's a real brief, quick and dirty. The game is not overly complicated. It can be a little fiddly sometimes, but not overly complicated. And we'll get into our thoughts starting now. Bobby,
It's me.
what do you think of Dabba Walla? What do you?
I think it's a good time. Like if you like polyomino types of games, like trying to sort this puzzle out, like on your board, is a good time. And you're trying to get those half tees to line up, so you can take the full chais here because they have cool abilities on them. I like the fact that at the end of the game, you are putting the game away as you're scoring, so that kind of helps to clean up at the end of the game. The trays, I too had a copy that I had to assemble. Putting them together wasn't the worst thing, but like they want you to take the tiles, like the chais, and stack them very neatly and have 3 rows of.
And they've got to be alternating.
Yeah, they got to be alternating. That was a bit too fiddly even for me. I ended up like just putting my chai tiles into a plastic bag and then using these wells to store like my peoples and some other like random bits. But it is neat that the lids fit right on top of there, and then that holds everything down inside, and that's handy. And then it's a nice organizational system for your pieces. So, you know, there's a spot for the 1s, a spot for the 2s, a spot for the 3s, a spot for the 4s, and it makes it easy to find the piece you're looking for. So that was super convenient. Multi-use cards. We enjoy multi-use cards. And then you're also like looking at other people's layers and saying, well, I know Spencer's got a bunch of blue, so he's probably going to increase the blue, so I don't necessarily have to, or I want to play my -1 to make sure he gets fewer points for those. And that was enjoyable. But no, I think it's a really fun game, and we taught and played in like 40 minutes, 45 minutes maybe. So I mean, that was for 4 people. It's pretty good. So yeah, it was a good time.
Spencer.
Yes, I very much like this game. Puzzles. I always like doing puzzles, but this also has something we didn't mention. There's 4 different maps basically that you can use, and we've only played on 2. I've only played on 2 of them. We have 2 more over there, which are kind of challenging looking.
Yeah, there's like hell mode. There's regular mode.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There's all 4 of them.
Yeah, now I kind of want to try that diamond mode. It's going to be low
You
scoring.
don't want to. It's hard.
But
I played it.
Yeah, hard. And we have this edition here. If it's not hard enough for you yet, you can add another
challenge mode.
challenge mode.
So now it starts at 00, so it takes multiple increases to make anything worth anything.
Yeah. Because, I like scoring nothing, even though
I mean, I think that Bob should play on challenge mode while everybody
everyone else
else
doesn't, yeah.
and
It's like
Spencer.
smartphone where you can just kind of like pick. No, Bob plays challenge.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, Dan, you technically would have won had you remembered to score.
This is true. You would have definitely, he
So
would
I
have
don't want
crushed
to hear
us.
too much.
He won on my phone because I just gave him points.
Yeah, I did too. I give him 130.
Thanks, guys. I can't count sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all right.
The one thing I think is also a little bit fiddly is the score tracker ends at 70.
Yeah, it makes the scoring awkward.
So
As you go all the way around, it's like 70 plus 30. 70
Yeah.
and 30 is hard to add together.
So you see it and you're like, oh, I'm at the 50 thing, so I got 150 points. No, you did not get 150 points.
Right. You have the 70 plus 50, which is only 120.
Yes.
Good math, Bob.
Yeah. Well, the 30 and 70 I couldn't do, but 50 and 70, I'm all over that one.
Got anything else you want to add?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right, Spencer, what do you think?
You already did all that.
Yeah. We were kind of already on him.
Yeah, I just wanted to make
it's like
sure.
a debate. The ticket thing, it's like a closed economy, so you only have 6 tickets
6 to
at the
start.
beginning.
Yep.
And so at certain points, I played once where I was like, I don't want that card, but I really need all those tickets.
Right.
So it can help.
They will just pile up.
Yeah. And the chai can be super useful. I mean, I had one that let me just jump to wherever I wanted, and that was very important on that game. So yeah, it has a lot of variety. It's got a lot of strategy. I like this game a lot.
Daniel,
What?
what'd you think?
Oh, that's what we're doing.
He wasn't listening to me.
It's okay.
Thanks, I hate it.
No, I think that it's a game that just has a lot of really good ideas, and at the end, it didn't feel very fulfilling to me. And I don't know if it's because I only got 5 layers and I was like disappointed in myself or something. And we were playing on a slightly harder one on purpose. I liked the look of it.
We picked a weird one because
yeah.
we wanted to try it.
And I don't think it hurt us that much. It wasn't like impossible, but Yeah, I like polyomino. I like puzzles and spatial stuff and everything. So having to fit the pieces here and trying to line stuff up, it is very fulfilling. It is a very small area to have to worry about that on, but it is fulfilling to try to do that puzzle. And then the moving around, I never felt too limited. I was only ever limited to my not FOMO, but my fear of wasting the tickets, right? Like I had like 8 tickets, almost the whole freaking game. And so I could have gone wherever I wanted, but I was purposely kind of staying close, so I only ever had to spend like 1 or 2 max. But really, you can go kind of wherever you want as long as you're landing on those ticket cards. So
as long as you keep taking the single ones.
right,
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't get it. Those always came up right after or right before me.
Yeah, which is why Daniel had 5 layers, because he was focusing on getting smaller tiles.
But also why
Because then he was going to ignore that scoring condition.
Also, I would have passed us on the story.
Yeah.
He had so many.
But yeah, I was focusing on completed layers of small tiles, and it made again, that game feels good. This whole creating the scoring system, I liked it. I liked there's a tiny element of reading people, and I think it was well done here. Of like Tim, I think it was you or someone was saying, I don't listen to you, so I don't know.
So it probably wasn't him.
But someone was saying, and they're totally right, that it's like, I can look around and I could be like, Bob's entire layer is blue,
right,
and mine is blue and yellow, so I'll just focus yellow, because people might be throwing out minus yellows to try to counter that. Meanwhile, Bob will make up the blue for me, right? And being able to read that, and there are sometimes, like Tim had one time where I had 2 colors, and I focused one because Tim had a lot of the other one, and Tim must have not had a card.
I did not have the cards
to let him do
for
that.
it.
And
It's
so,
the same thing to me.
so that can happen though, where someone doesn't have the card because you're just at the end playing these cards and creating the scoring. So if the person that you're kind of relying on doesn't have that card, which you would just have to remember from them playing earlier, good luck. You can get kind of screwed over with that, but I think that is an engaging way of having that reading the players and kind of looking around. Or saving, we all knew Bob had a full layer of red at one point.
Yeah.
So saving the minuses and Bob saving the positives makes sense. It all works really good. There's nothing I don't like about the game. I just sit here at the end and I'm just like, that was fine. I don't have anything super positive or negative to say about it. It was
more.
There's a lot of good designs there, and I just wanted a slightly more fulfilling experience for myself. I don't know if we mentioned too, there's also a bunch of negative tokens you can take to really fill out your board and really get your layers going if you need to, like what I was trying to focus on. Most polyomino games have that system, especially if there's stacking involved, where you have to fill out your board, and it made perfect sense here. What you guys said, the storage and everything, I think is fantastic. I don't mind building this stuff, but I could see it getting super annoying. It's the same thing with stickers. I don't really mind doing that, but when someone says, I had to put 100 stickers on this game, it sucked, I'd be like, yeah, I get that.
So Tim, Bob, how well does the lid actually keep the components
perfectly.
inside?
Perfectly.
Oh, great.
It's
They
just,
don't go anywhere.
It's just building it.
Yeah, sure.
It takes a minute.
That's just something for me. I don't know. I've always been a handy arts and craft guy. I like doing that kind of stuff. So that doesn't bother me too much. And the quality you get because of it, the fact that all the player boards and the player aids are lids that just attach to everything, I think that's a super clever design that I actually haven't seen before. I was whelmed.
No, this game does a lot of things really well. One of the first things that struck me was the theme. I find it really interesting and usually a plus when a game can teach me something about the world, that I don't know, right? Or represents an aspect of a culture that I'm not familiar with. And this 100% does it, right? This is a real thing. It is, as far as I know, pretty much just to this, region of the world, right? You've never seen anything like this in the United States. So really fascinating, really interesting. And so to take a theme, and again, the theme works with what we're doing, the way, because you're going around and you're picking collecting all the food from all different areas.
As best you can.
Because you're organizing it, because now you need to run your route efficiently as you're selling everything. And that's how it's represented basically with the cards being played. So I found all of that really interesting. It's kind of funny because I don't remember if it's you or Mike, but you like games where you're doing a job, like a real life job.
I talk about that a lot. Yeah.
So here's a real life job. You're doing it.
It's cool. I didn't know this theme until this game. It's cool.
And again, right, something I was never heard of. So I really appreciated that. Thought it was really interesting. I would be terrible. I will never play this game online because I am awful
Spatial awareness without having
at spatial awareness games without the
able to fiddle
tactile
with it,
aspect of it. Like I need to just be able to do that. But that's not a real knock on this game. You may need to remember, because I wasn't really paying attention to the colors as I'm stacking them. I'm just filling my board. I'm getting stuff and I'm filling my board. Not a good strategy. But that is a get good issue, not a problem with the game. I think when teaching the game, I would maybe let people know, hey, 3 colors in a row in a layer may not be that good because a lot of people are focusing, and it's going to be really tough to score a lot of meaningful points for those. And I had a bunch of layers where I had 2 and 3 colors, and it just, I think every time I had one of those colors not score, so it was effectively a waste.
Right.
So things to keep in mind. But again, that's sort of like strategy things that, like, as I play more, I will get better at and have a better understanding. But then would also let people know, hey, you can do it, but you may not get a lot of points for doing it. I love multi-purpose cards. I think the art and everything looks great. The tiles all look really cool. I assume that because these tiles have shapes that there's no color issues.
Correct.
Okay.
Plus, even without the shapes, the green is pretty like, I want to say limey enough,
sure.
And the red is bloody enough.
Gray
right?
enough.
I can tell it apart. Yeah.
No, that's
Blood and lime.
Blood and lime. It's like life.
Famous components. But yeah, I appreciate that too, right? It looks like they took those things into consideration.
Yeah, and like this is a guy on a cart. This is the guy on the bike.
Yeah, he's pulling the
carrying it.
weapon.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool.
And if you do look, the extra guy on each of those tiles is the person you're playing.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
there,
On the other
right.
side.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
pretty cool. Lots of just really neat
Details.
like art design stuff there. Again, very clever with the storage solution. A nightmare to put together for me, but mostly because it's like there was one of these that was extra bad because you have to have these cross pieces sitting as then you fold up the sides, but they won't stay on the thing because they're weird. And so then you got to fold up the sides, and then to put the sides on, there's a piece that plugs in the side, so you kind of have to like. I had to push my finger in and kind of bend it around to get it in.
Definitely.
Once it's in, it lives there. It's good.
Right.
But
Good, I guess.
But it just took a little bit of like sweating as I'm like, don't crease as I do this.
I think one of the things they emphasize too is they try to do it with all cardboard, right? There's no plastic components.
Yeah, there's
or
very
nothing, so
very
it's
little amount
true.
of. And the
green.
efficiency is a marvel. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
the efficiency of the stuff. There's not a lot of waste. Because when I go home, these will go in a bag till I get home, and then I've got an extra little like plastic container that these will go in, and then everything else. And honestly, if you take the time, stack all of these in here, and then all the components just went on top of the cards in that box.
Correct.
There's no bags.
Correct.
I literally just pulled out a couple of trays and then the main game board, I think, and that was it.
pretty much.
And the rule book, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like
the setup's super easy, and then like I said, as you're playing it, and everything kind of comes out of the boxes, and then when you're scoring it, everything goes back into the boxes.
yeah.
So it makes
So there's not that flotsam of like, well, can you hand me my bag for my player bits? Over here and there. Like, there's none of that, which is really interesting. So yeah, I mean, overall, like, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
a lot of things done well.
I think something that was really underappreciated for me playing it for the first time is, so you at the end, Tim, you talk about during final scoring, you can kind of look around and be like, okay, Bob has a lot of yellow. I don't need to waste my yellow card now. I can do it later when I have some yellow. But I think that something that goes underappreciated is you can do that while playing the game too. That's kind of why those layer trackers are there. So I can look at,
Yeah, the layer trackers are
Bob's
super-
on layer 3
super
and he has
good.
a bunch of yellow. So I'll take this yellow card because Bob will score it for me later.
Oh, right.
And like just thinking about taking what other people are taking on the same layer if what's out there isn't working for you right now.
Right.
I think that's an entire another part of the game that I
Another
didn't even mess
level
with.
on the game
Yeah,
you can get
another
into.
level. Oh. That's how many
You
layers
leveled
this
up.
game
You
has.
leveled up.
And this cards, I think the highest I've ever seen is going in 2 for a single color.
Yeah, 0 and 2.
So
yeah.
unless you're getting a whole bunch of chai, you can only
Affected by two
so
yourself.
much.
Right.
So yeah, you kind of want to rely on other people and be like, oh, he's playing a lot of red. I'm going to try to get some red too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to say that.
Yeah. No, good point. Good point. Well, I guess we should rate this game. Daniel,
Me?
how do we do that at the Board Game Rundown?
Well, here at the Board Game Rundown, we each rate the game from 0 to 10 personally so that we can get our own opinions in there. But then we will, at the end, average them all together so that Board Game Rundown just has one score and stuff like Discord and Board Game Geek and anything like that, in case you guys want to know what we think as a group.
What he said.
Are 0.5s allowed?
Yeah, I guess.
Fine.
Right.
Not that I was going to use one. I just
might.
wanted to know if it was cool. Bobby,
It's me.
what's your score, sir?
I've been kind of like thinking about it and going back and forth. I think I'm gonna give it an 8. I think the fact that it's easy to teach, it's easy to get the table, and there's not a ton of setup, and then the put away is part of the game. I think it's gonna hit the table a lot. Mike and I played this a couple times at Origins. We got to play it again here, and plus I played it a couple times beforehand. It's an 8 for me.
I was going between a 7.5 and an 8, but I think I'm actually going to push this to an 8 just because I like the components. It says 8 and up. I agree. Yeah, my kids.
You
can play
do
this.
agree. 8.
Yeah,
8 and up.
8 and up. There we go.
Oh, I got to move my tracker.
Yeah. So, my whole family can play this, and that definitely helps.
That helps.
Daniel.
A 6. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I enjoyed it. I think if I really get into the strategies of the game more, like really see more cards, see more boards, really get into it, I could see it going up. I definitely don't dislike it. It's okay. It was fun. 6 for now.
8 for me. Kind of like what Bob was saying. We could take this to meetups, and you could get this played very easily. You can
Yeah.
teach new people. I can play this with in-laws. I will get a lot of mileage out of this copy. I'm
Yeah.
really glad I bought one.
It says 45 minutes. That's about right.
Yeah, I mean, even with teaching new people, it's pretty straightforward. And again, that increases the value of a game to me. If the more I can get it
Yes.
played, the better, right? So
It is one of the criteria. Which
Yeah.
I rate.
yeah, so they did a good job. I enjoyed it.
So
Bobby.
if we take all of our scores, we average them together. That's a 7.5.
Hey, we do point
We do, guys. We do. We do.
0.5.
Somehow none of us give it a half, and it ended up with a half.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Dan's wet blanket.
That's all right. A 6 is still a
6 is still
recommend.
good, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, if
Pretty
you're into this
good.
kind of
Depends
thing.
on the game.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyways, if you found this video useful, please consider liking, subscribing, doing all the things. We do have a Discord. We've got all kinds of stuff. We do live streams.
We do.
On Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We do a live stream.
do.
Even Bob's going to start coming on there. Sometimes Dan's on there.
Sometimes.
That's fun. Spencer, no.
No, not yet.
Not cool. But yeah, no, feel free to check us out. Let us know what you think of Dabba Walla. Have you played it? If not, tell us your favorite food delivery game. I don't know how many there are, but there's got to be more than one. Quit drinking my tea.
Nope. I'm going to spill it.
Oh,
Man, I
no.
love chai tea, dude.
For the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
Spencer.
Dan.
Thanks for watching.
And you can say the title's only 3 words.